So I am in my car in the ferry on my way to cross and go to work. And I just wanted to take a minute and talk about something that was on my mind. And it's about ostriching. I know that's an interesting concept, right? I mean, when you think about ostriching, what I use it as is a term to specifically in talking to my daughter. Sometimes as a young woman learning to adult, she has a tendency to what I call ostrich, right? And so when you think about what ostriches do, or at least the myth around what they do, I don't think they actually do it, is when danger arises, they tuck their heads down in the sand and hide under the premise that if they can't see you, you can't see them, thereby averting danger. And my daughter has the tendency to do that sometimes when things get tough for her, when things get hard for her, or it gets stressful. She has a tendency to what I call ostrich. She'll go to sleep. She'll sleep through whatever struggles or hardships she might be having in the probably subconscious hopes that things will be better when she wakes up. Of course, we all know that that's not truly how things work, right? I mean, sometimes things will blow over, but by and large, it's so much better to handle a situation or a circumstance by handling it head on, by just looking it in the eye and saying, okay, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, what can I do to make this have the best possible outcome for everybody involved. And even now, I have the tendency to ostrich in my own way. And I think most of us do. We ostrich in our own way. We come up with excuses about why we do or don't do certain things, about why we avoid certain situations or people. And we have what we call valid reasons, right? There's still excuses. Sometimes there's still excuses because you use them as a crutch. For example, I know that I take care of my mother. I am one of her. My father and myself are her primary caregivers, and she requires significant amount of care because she's totally incapacitated. She can't eat, drink, walk, talk, move. She uses a breathing machine and a feeding tube. I mean, she really, really is totally and absolutely 100% dependent on us and machines for her for her life, really. And I've been doing this, watching her decline for 6 years. I moved and came to Texas to help take care of her, and it's been a 6-year journey to this point. And I literally gave up a business that I owned in Colorado. I brought my daughter here when she was 16, and I have been kind of trying to do spit starts of my real estate business. And I think that while caring for her is an absolute valid reason for not giving all that I could to my business, it's still just a reason. It's still just another ostrich moment, if you will. Because while she needs me, that doesn't mean I have to stop my business, right? If my mother were to come in her full self back and see herself now and see the conditions and circumstances that she's living in now and that I'm living in as her daughter, I don't know that she would be pleased. I think that she would look at herself in her condition and wonder why she is like that, right? My mother was a go-getter. She's a published author, a journalist, an activist, she worked in the university system for decades. I mean, she's an educated reader, just so much, such a strong woman. And for her to see herself in this condition, I think she'd be disappointed. And I think she'd be also disappointed to see the level that my father and I have given up our lives to care for her in this condition. We've all but stopped making forward progression because her life has stopped, ours too has stopped. And I'm realizing now that it has caused me to be angry, resentful, and bitter, even while I'm pleased and thankful to be able to see her through this transition. So I'm dealing with cognitive dissonance, right? I'm helping her suffer. I'm aiding in her suffering. And so that causes me stress, which causes me to then pull out of life, which causes me to stand down, and which causes me to ostrich. And during that ostrich time, I'm not focusing on my business. I'm not focusing on my self-care. I'm not focusing on watching myself flourish or grow to the full capacity that I know that I want to, and that I think my mother would want me to. So I too am needing to use my own advice and stop ostriching. Stop using even the most extreme circumstances that have a lot of validity to them as excuses for not moving forward and doing what I need to do to have the kind of life that I can have within the parameters of circumstances that are beyond my control. Right? I can't change my mother's circumstance. I have absolutely, literally no power. My dad has whatever medical power of attorney over her. And so whatever choices and decisions he makes for her care, I have to go along with as her daughter and their support system. I'm secondary. So in the meantime, I need to progress and move forward with my life for such a time that I'm no longer needed in this capacity. If I allow myself to continue to ostrich through this situation, if I allow myself not to continue to grow my business or make attempts to take care of myself personally with diet, exercise, and just good mental care, by the time it's all over, I will be stunted by those 6 or 8 or 10 years, however many years it is, and then I'll be trying to play catch up. And I will have done myself a great disservice by not taking advantage of the opportunity and time that I have now, even within these horrific circumstances, to progress and do better. So putting my head in the sand, burying my head, and acting like life doesn't see me is not helping myself. It's not helping my family. It's not helping anybody. It's going to set me back. So I challenge you, stop ostriching. Whatever you want to do, go and attempt to do it. That doesn't mean jump from A and go all the way to point Z. That means begin taking baby steps. If you want to write a book, start reading books on how to write books. If you want to write books, start writing short stories, start writing articles. Take the steps necessary, but don't use other things as excuses for why you cannot begin. Even if you believe that the excuses have validity to them, even if you believe that you are doing a dishonor or disservice to something or somebody else by pursuing your dreams and your goals, you are dishonoring yourself. And by dishonoring yourself, you are in turn dishonoring those around you. People around you need to see that in the face of adversity, in the face of hardship, you can still excel. You can still find an opportunity to move forward. But hiding ourselves, playing peekaboo with life, is not helping anybody. It's not, and it's most of all not helping you. And so many of us hear through a lot of the talks that we listen to, the positive motivation, that dishonoring self is the biggest level of dishonor that you can provide. Because what do? We teach others how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. So if I don't honor myself, why would I expect anybody else to honor me? If I don't think I'm important enough to stand out front and pursue my goals and dreams, why would anyone else want to give me the opportunity or the platform to do that? So honor yourself first. Put on your oxygen mask first, and then you're better able to help others around you.